next unit now. So the third unit is like get data from rational data source. So how will get? Okay, so if organization use a relational database for sales, you can use Power BI desktop to connect directly to the database instead of using export file. Okay, so earlier we are using export key. Let's export the data, but for here it is like our organization has some database only, so we'll get it from there. So what we'll do, we'll connect Power BI to your database, will help you to monitor the progress of your business and identifying trends. So you can forecast sales figure, plan budgets, and set performance indicators and target. Power BI desktop can connect to many relational databases that are either in the cloud or on premises. Okay, so what is the scenario? Here is the sales team that Twillwind Traders has requested that you connect to the organization's on premises SQL Server database and get the sales data in Power BI desktop so you can build sales report. Okay, so this is the SQL database, this is the Power BI, and this is the report. So what is the process? Let's get, because there is like we no need to read all the data. We must need to see that how we can fetch and how we can check, how we can connect. Okay, so this is the main topic over there, the connect data to the relational database. You can use get data features from the Power BI desktop and select the application options for your relational database. For example, this would be select the SQL server option as shown in the screenshot. Okay, so here we can go home, there is can get data. For example, the earlier we using the get data Excel, that we are having the Excel sheet and we used to make it, but over there we are having get data from where you want to get your data. So this is the list, this is the list from where you want to get the data. I want to get the data from SQL server, so I will select this SQL server. And what will be the next step? See, your next step is to enter your database server name and database name in SQL Server database window. The two options in the data connectivity modes are import and direct query. Import is like select default recommended, no need to change anything. And like direct query, like mostly you select, mostly what happened here. No, I don't want to do anything. Mostly you select import, and other advanced options are also available in SQL Server database window, but you can ignore them for now. Okay. So just see, this is, there are two options: server, database, data connectivity mode, import. Okay. So we'll select. After you have added your server and database name, you have to add it over here. It is like showing blur because of the privacy, so we will add this server and database. It is optional only, like we can, but yeah, it is optional. Okay, so like after you added, but it is written that you have added the server and database, so it's better to add the name. You will be promoted to sign into the username and password. You will be have three signs in the option. You will go and you will click OK. Okay, then after, what will, after adding sign in window, there are three options sign in, like window, database, and Microsoft account. Windows use window account as your active directly credential, and a database for like a use database credential. For instance, like SQL server has its own sign of authentication system that is sometime used in database. Administrator give you a unique sign into database. You might need to like enter those credential database tab. Microsoft account is simple, use Microsoft account credential. Okay, so these are the way, like for example, we want to sign in or something. So these are the way to do all those things. Whichever suits you, you can do it. Okay, so let's select a sign in options, enter your username and password, and then select connect. So just follow this path. Okay, current credential, username, password, and connect. We'll click here connect. Select data to import. After, so example, I have connected everything. Now I have to import the data. So after database has been selected, to the Power BI desktop, the navigator window display to the data that is available in your data source, the SQL database. In this example, you can select a table or entity to preview its content and make sure that the data that the correct data will be loaded to the Power BI model. Select the checkbox on the table that you want to bring in the Power BI desktop, and then select either the load or the data transform data. Okay, so see, so the navigator option we can see that we have to load, or we have to load data and transform data. I already told you. So this is here. Now items preview, you want to select and all. You have to load. Import data by writing SQL query. Okay, so there is one more way where we can import the data. So we can write query also. So how we'll do? To write SQL query on the SQL Server database window, enter your server and database name and select the arrow to the next advanced option. See, we'll click it database and we'll click this advanced option, and here, yeah, here select name ID from cells, include relationship columns. We'll click OK. Okay, yeah. So it is written clearly that what you have to do. Okay, then after I can get my data, change data source setting. Okay, here also we can change the data. Earlier like we were changing, so here also we can change the data source setting. So what we will do, we'll go to on home tab, we'll select data transform data, and then select data source setting. We'll go home, then we'll go transform data and data source setting. One more thing, it is written, just read it. After getting data source connection, load data in Power BI desktop. You can run and change your connection settings at a time. This action is often required due to security policy within the organization. For example, when the password needs to be updated every 90 seconds. Sorry, not 90 seconds, every 90 days. You can change the data source, edit permissions, or clear permissions. So over here we can click, we can, after that, clicking this data source setting, we will go inside this, and from the list selected the data source you wanted to update. You can click the right click that data source overview available update, and you can like update options button, or lower left of the window you can see, select the updated, and you need to change and apply. So here it is. Data source home ribbon alternately. So there is one more alternative option. You can change the data source setting from the Power Query also. So for that, we'll go to select data source setting option in a home tab ribbon, this one. Alternatively, you can go to query settings panel. Query settings panel, we have to go. Are you able to see query settings panel? The right side of the screen. It is so good that it is written everything. The right side of the screen, and select the icon next to source, or double select source. Okay. In this window, the display update the server database and select OK. Okay, my father is calling now. So we'll catch up later. Okay, so our like we have gone through all those things. Then after we can like write an SQL statement also. Like after you made the changes, select, close, and apply. Okay, these happen. Okay, so earlier when I want to get data Excel, so I used to write a query. So over there also from database we can write queries. So the query will be like this one. Let's select ID name cell from cells. Okay, so what is the difference between these three queries? Here is like from is miss from, after the cells is missing, and cells, and here to select from cells. There are some multiple queries, so let's get into it, that what is the reason behind this. So first one is like As previously, you can import Power BI data model by SQL query. SQL query stand for structured query language and standardized programming language that is used to manage relational base relational based data database and perform various data management or operation. Consider the scenario where your data has a large table that is comprised of sales um, date over several years. So here, for example, shows a simple query name ID sales amount selected from the sales table. The query is selected. Allow to choose a specific field that you want to pull from database. This is an example. You want to load these things. You can give for a specific name a table you want to pull. You can from table you can put over there, or when using SQL query imports, try to avoid using the wildcard character in your query. If you use the wildcard characters, is select in your select statement, you import all column that you don't need to for the specific field, right? For example, there are specific field like I want three things: ID, name, and sale amount. So I will get less data, but here it will go to sales. So sale table might be a very big table. So I don't want that much of big table. So that's the reason it is saying that we should try to use less wild characters, because wild character is like it will help to fetch the entire data. Okay. So the while character will import a column within the sales table. This method is not recommended because it will lead to redundant data in your semantic model, which will cause performance issue and require extra steps to normalize your data for reporting. All queries should also have a where clause. This clause will filter the row to pick a filtered row that you want. In this example, you want to recent you want to get recent sale data after January 1st 2020, and add a where clause to evolve query. Would like the example like this: the select ID name sales amount from sales where order date is greater than 1st Jan of 2020. It is the best practice to avoid doing their directly in Power BI. Instead, considering writing a query, it is this is a view. A view is an object in relational database similar to a table, and a view row and columns can obtain almost every operations in SQL. If Power BI use view or retrieve data, it participates in the query folding. Power query folding explained later will short, but in short, Power Query is optimized reversal according to how the data is being used later. Okay, time given 14 minutes, and in 14 minutes, less than 40 minutes, not less than, it will be in 40 30 seconds, it will be 40 minutes. We are completed. See you in the next. Bye.